Hi, my name is Amy. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I totally have something up my sleeves, like literally. I'm going to show you how I made these 18th century engageantes. They're also known as sleeve ruffles or sleeve flounces. These engageantes are part of a larger project that I am making for the Home for the Holidays challenge. I'll put a playlist up here. Engageantes are also referred to as elbow or sleeve flounces or ruffles. They are the ruffled frilly flounces worn under the sleeves of 18th century gowns. They could be single layers of simple ruffles or multiple tiers of extravagant lace. Engageantes could be made using lace or lace-etched fabrics, or they could also be made using whitework, which is embroidery using white thread on a white ground, usually cotton or linen. I chose to make my engageantes in 3 tiers out of silk organza, and I used my machine to embroider on the silk in the same manner that whitework would have been done in the 18th century. I based mine off of artwork of Madame Sophie of France, that is at the Met. I'll put a picture up here and I will put a link to it down below, including the name of the artist that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce because my French sucks. So with that, let's get sewing. Since each engageante had 3 flounces, the first thing I had to do was embroider all 6 panels. This took about 2 full days using my embroidery machine, and since I was embroidering on the silk organza, I did it at a pretty slow pace just to make sure I didn't tear the fabric. Each of the panels is backed with a water-soluble stabilizer, and I basted around both the design and the hoop with a contrasting thread to make lining up the patterns easier. After all the panels were embroidered, I used a pair of sharp thread snips to cut along the bottom edge of the embroidery that would create the ruffled edge of the flounces. And I also trimmed down the length of the embroidery so that each end only had about 4 extra inches of fabric. After each of the flounces was trimmed, I laid them out one on top of each other and pinned them together using about a 1 3/4 inch gap between each flounce, and I measured and pinned periodically along the length of each flounce. Before I hemmed the edges of the flounces, I wanted to make sure they were attached together securely and in a way that would help prevent the organza from fraying. So I used a friction pen and my clear quilting ruler to mark a line 2 inches away from the top basting line on the embroidery. After the line was drawn, I pinned the flounces together right along the edge of the basting line and then again against the drawn line. Then I used my serger to attach the flounces together along the line I drew with the friction pen. Once the flounces were attached to each other, I took the opportunity to remove all of the basting stitches that I made in the contrasting thread. I also cut all of the extra threads and loose threads on both the back and the front of each flounce. The end of each flounce was roll hemmed to help prevent fraying because I wasn't sure at first if I was going to close these engageantes into a complete circle or if I was going to leave them open. The rolled hem would help with fraying either way, and it would make attaching them into a completed circle a little bit easier. So the engageantes have all been hemmed on the edge and they are ready to be washed to have the stabilizer dissolved off. So I'm going to do that here in my kitchen sink, and I'm going to just do it with cold water and get it rinsed off all the way, and then I'm going to run them through a hand wash cycle with some woolite, and I will take you along the process. See, it kind of forms this gel, and that's what dissolves. Don't know if you can see it very well, but the water is cloudy now, and that is all of the residual stabilizer in the water. It's almost like gelatin. So I will have to rinse it several times before the water actually runs completely clear. And when it does that, I will lay these out on towels to dry. So as you can see, they are all completely rinsed out, washed, and I have them laid out on this towel. And when they're dry, I will get them pressed and then gathered up and finished. After I sewed the engageantes into a completed circle, I used a double strand of regular all-purpose sewing thread to run a gathering stitch along the top edge of each engageante. The circumference of my arm just above the elbow is 12 inches, so I pulled the gathering threads until I had a circumference of 12 inches for the top of the engageante. And then I took a few stitches with the gathering thread just to secure it so that it wouldn't loosen up. To attach the band, I stitched about 3/8 of an inch away from the raw edge with right sides together of the band and the engageante. Once the band was attached to the right side of the engageante, I folded it, turned under the inside edge, and then used a tiny whip stitch to stitch it down to the inside. The engageantes are now finished. As you can see, the band on the top is completely attached, and I have added the buttonhole and button, which I know is not completely historically accurate, but that's how I wanted to finish it for use with multiple dresses. I hope you enjoyed this video and watching me make my Engageantes. It was a lot of fun. I am really pleasantly surprised at how well they turned out because I've never sewn with silk organza before. I've never embroidered on silk organza before. And this was a completely new type of garment for me to make. So I'm thrilled with the results. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like this from me, go ahead and subscribe. And if you'd like YouTube to let you know every time I upload, hit the little bell. As a reminder, I do have a Ko-fi account linked down below where I am raising money for a project to make an 1840s Oregon Trail pioneer dress. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful holiday.